In this video, I will discuss One Piece chapter 1069. The English version will be released on Sunday. If you want to wait for the English version of the chapter and don't want spoilers, please leave this video. In the previous chapter, we saw how CP0 arrived on Egghead Island, and at the end of chapter 1068, Luffy accidentally met Rob Lucci. Previously, many fans had theorized that there would be a rematch between them. Is this really going to happen? Chapter 1069 will be the answer to that question. But before we start this video, please smash that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and click notification bell, or you will miss future anime videos. One Piece chapter 1069 titled Everything Exists for a Reason. In the cover story, we see a ship in a flashback. It is the Mott's Research Center and financed by God of Fortune Dufeld, also known as Lone Shark King, who was one of the guests of Big Mom's tea party at HYPEKAGE Island. At the beginning of the chapter, we see the continuation of the incidental encounter between Luffy and Lucci. Lucci then attempted an attack on Luffy, but Kaku and Stussy stopped Lucci for some reason. Attacking pirates or people who hinder their goals may be one of the tasks of CP0. However, to attack the Yonko, they first need permission from the Marines, because fighting Yonko has the potential to lead to war. Yonko are famous for their incredible powers of devil fruit, their extraordinary physical stamina, and their high-level hockey mastery. Apart from having territory, the Yonko also have a lot of followers. Furthermore, Luffy now has numerous friends on each island, and also has a Straw Hat Grand Fleet. If the news of the battle between Luffy and Lucci spreads throughout the world, then the Straw Hat Grand Fleet will not remain silent, let alone the enemy from the world government. Previously, Admiral Green Bull went to Wano without permission from Akainu. It happened with Kizaru as well. He went to Egghead Island without Akainu knowing. His intention to visit Egghead Island remains unknown, because there are multiple parties out there that need to be rescued by the Navy. The first is Vegapunk, because according to the information in the previous chapter, Vegapunk will be killed by CP0. The second is Sentomaru, because at the end of chapter 1069, Sentomaru was attacked by Rob Lucci, which made Sentomaru vomit blood and seemed to be unconscious. And the third is CP0, as CP0 is currently dealing with one of the four emperors. Kizaru's arrival to Egghead Island will be a moment where Luffy will be reunited with Kizaru and Sentomaru, like as Sabaody Archipelago, especially if Kuma actually showed up on Egghead Island. Sentomaru's appearance on Egghead Island is to rule over all the Seraphim, and the Seraphim themselves cannot be ruled through Den Mushi. There are several levels of authority to command the Seraphim. The top one is the Gorosei, the second is Vegapunk, the third is Sentomaru, and the fourth, or bottom one, is the person holding the command chip. And CP0 is the one that has the chip. So this Seraphim will listen to Sentomaru's commands more than CP0. Seraphim Kuma, or S-Bear, who was with CP0 at that time, counterattacked CP0 on Sentomaru's orders. Kaku and Stussy, who were there at the time, chose not to fight S-Bear. Apart from S-Bear, there were also several other Seraphim. There were Seraphim Jinbei, Seraphim Mihawk, and Seraphim Hancock. They call them S-Shark, S-Hawk, and S-Snake. Jinbei himself was shocked when he saw the S-Shark. When Luffy is in his Gear 5 mode against Lucci, Vegapunk, who was in the laboratory with the other Straw Hats, watched what was happening on the monitor. Vegapunk asked the Straw Hats about Luffy's Gear 5 form. They didn't know, and Nami replied that it was one form of Gomu Gomu no Mi. Vegapunk said that the Gomu Gomu no Mi was never recorded in the ancient encyclopedia of devil fruits. Vegapunk says Luffy's new form looks like Nika. Maybe Nika's name has been erased from history, but as long as people continue to pray for him, Nika's existence will never disappear, and information about Nika can only be found in an ancient text. Vegapunk kept saying that everything on Earth was born from human will, and the same goes for devil fruits. It's possible that the devil fruit is a human evolution that the human itself wants, and each ability represents a person's desire for what they will become. Because those desires are so unnatural, they are hated by the sea, which is the mother of nature. That's why the devil fruit's weakness is seawater. All ability users living in the future basically bear a curse that someone wished for in the past. It seems that Vegapunk got the information from the book of the Ohara scholars he read on Elbaf Island. Apart from reuniting with Lucci, in this chapter Luffy is also reunited with Sentamaru. Previously, they last met as symbiote as enemies, but in chapter 1069, Sentamaru asked Luffy to take Vegapunk away. It seems Sentamaru knows that Vegapunk is in danger because he is being targeted by CP0, and that's the only way to save Vegapunk. Vegapunk is the most influential person in Sentamaru's life. He was the only person who helped Sentamaru in his difficult times and freed Sentamaru from poverty. That's why in this chapter he prefers to fight CP0 and save Vegapunk. The most epic part of chapter 1069 is the battle between Zoan Devil Fruit users, Luffy and Lucci. Previously, the CP0 agents chose not to fight Luffy because they did not have permission from the Marines. But when Luffy saw Atlas, who was damaged after being attacked by Lucci, Luffy was angry and immediately attacked Lucci. In the end, the battle was inevitable. They fight in their awakening mode, Luffy with his Gear 5 form and Lucci with his hybrid mode. However, there is something different about Lucci's hybrid mode, because in awakening mode, Lucci's awakened form has black fur that looks like black fire or black clouds. He has a black cloud of steam floating around his neck similar to Gear 4 or Gear 5 Luffy. Luffy's attacks seem to overwhelm Lucci. Luffy uses a new attack called Gomu Gomu no Magura. He turned the floor into a fist that punched Lucci in the stomach, making him cough up blood and blow him away. But at the end of the chapter, Lucci got back up and immediately attacked Sentamaru until he was seriously injured. Because according to him, by paralyzing Sentamaru, Seraphim can obey CP0's orders. That might be the One Piece chapter 1069 review this time. Of course, it will be interesting to see the continuation of the fight between Luffy and Lucci in the next chapter.